Hello everybody, welcome back to another Trenton Wild 5 video, and we're on consoles. It's release day, which does mean we now get all of our DLC to install. So as you can see, I have got, well, quite a few to, that's not all of them, it just goes on and on and on. Which, yeah, it does mean we do get the Goblin or the London Overground services on the West Coast Mainline South. But you do require the Goblin line for then the train to come over to this line. So let's jump in. Hopefully audio is up to scratch, and we'll get the train set up. So we'll get all of the fuses on to begin with. Panel door, DBWS, AWS, Vigilance, DSD, that's fine. And is there a TPWS thing on here somewhere? I feel like there is somewhere, maybe there isn't. Is there not like a TPWS normal button? Oh, there it is there. Set you to normal. Right, cool, that's that. Let's stick the key in. And go to secure, which is neutral.
TPWS and AWS operational.
And right side door release. Does the GSMR work? I mean, it should know our head code. What are we? We are 2 Delta 99. Let's try again. Ah, there we go, 2 Delta 99. Cool, so that does work. Obviously it's not manual. But yeah, that's all good. Headlights, we'll get that sorted as well. Already set today. So yeah, we are actually all set to go as soon as we get the road at Watford Junction. So at every single stop, so we've got South Hampstead, Kilburn High Road, Queen's Park. You might recognise it from here. Queen's Park, Kensal Green, Wealdstone Junction, Harrow, Stonebridge Park, Wembley Central, North Wembley, South Kenton, Harrow and Wealdstone. Then after that it's Headstone Lane, Hatch End, Carpenter's Park, Bushy, Watford High Street, and then Watford Junction. So it's about 50 minutes, which is quite a... almost like a whole, well, it is sort of a whole separate route in itself. This is the Watford DC line. I mean, the West Coast Mainline South really does feel like 3 routes in one, being the sort of fast, tilting, fast lines, slow lines, and then the Watford DC line. What are we waiting for? What are we possibly waiting for? Well, from the opposite, it looks like we're waiting for nothing. We're just sat here. It's a good start. Yeah, let's get the door shut. Oh, it was as well, wasn't it? Was it that? It was that. Okay, well, let's get going. We are off. So yeah, South Hampstead is our next station stop. That's really annoying though. Oh, we should have just put the DRA on for that, but oh well. Yeah, that's annoying, that. That's annoying me. So we had to close our doors on a red for it to change and be like, oh yeah, it's fine. Little brake test. Cool. Right, at Euston we go on our way up to Watford Junction in the 710. This is cool. Like 50 minutes to get all the way up there. It probably is actually one of the longest, well, you've got like the slow Euston to Milton Keynes services, which are 1 hour 10 minutes, but this is, well, 50 minutes. So sort of one of the second longest services you can do. And again, for the second time, you do need the Goblin line. So that's the Gospel Oak to Barking route, if you want to have these trains. If not, you won't see them. Run that up a bit more. Yeah, good news is, yeah, train to my 5 is, let me connect the case. Come over, come on, hurry up, we're driving. Yeah, train to my 5 is now officially released. It's out of early access. So all of your old routes and trains will now show. although you will have to go onto the store, so PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, and just sort of click on them, and it will say download or it will say free. So you do need to go back into the store, find them, and just get them again, but they'll be free. Yeah, that's anything you need to do. And then good fun downloading all of them again. Which I think for me, excluding US freight routes, so I'm not installing any of them, it said about 10-11 hours, so a rather large download, but it does mean we get to see all the other trains and AI. Right, so it is actually 50 at the moment, but the speed limit does, well, in a second come down to 40 anyway, and I think even more for us as we sort of go over to the side. Is it going to come down even more for us? Yeah, we sort of go off down the sort of ominous looking tunnel. Such a mess coming out of Euston though. Yeah, we go down here, 30 miles an hour. And I can see all the light in the tunnel. Oh, unless there is a gap, and maybe there is a gap. Is there a gap? It's quite cool though, coming down here. Oh no, it was just light in the tunnel. Oh, what is going on here? Ugh. It's hideous. Well, this is cool. We haven't been in here before. It's like a secret little tunnel. Alright, this is cool. So it should, well, take us sort of, well, under all of the other lines and over to the right-hand side. Why can we see the lights loading? Oh, that's not nice. First off, all the lighting in the tunnel was screwed, and now you can see all the sort of, well, emergency lights all loading in as we go along. And they haven't even sort of loaded, but I mean, they're inside the wall. What the hell? Hopefully that will get sorted. I mean, that probably is sort of on there. This sort of, that's not really nice. And there's also another thing. Is the fact that, well, there's two things actually. I've just spotted the other one. One thing is that the Watford DC Overground services, I mean, I think the one before this was about an hour and a half before, the 16:25, and with the 17:55, and I think these services run every 15 minutes in real life. So you've got, yeah, the timetable's not correct. I mean, I'm sure it does follow the real thing, but it's missing tons of services. So yeah, well, the next service, well, after this was probably more an hour or so, which is not how it is in real life, which is a bit annoying. Oh, it's South Hampstead already. It's sort of straight out and into it. Cool. And the second thing is, if you look on the left-hand side on the sort of TMS screen, it is saying that we're using 25,000 volts, so overhead wires, but we're on third rail. So getting slightly weird. Even though I can see the DC system select is actually set to on, so a bit peculiar. Right, left side door release. Let's make sure the pantograph isn't up. Yeah, but that says 25 kV. So hopefully again that might be something they can sort. Hopefully. Right, let's get the doors shut. Next stop will be Kilburn High Road. And this line's pretty easy to do, Hudless to Watford DC. I mean, if you've played the Bakerloo line, you'll already know most of it. But it's 45 miles an hour for the majority of it. So as long as you remember that, yeah, stick the HUD off. And we should see lots of AI, or quite a bit more AI at the yard at Wembley as well. Because I've installed Cargo Line Volume 1 and Volume 2. And I was looking at another streamer's stream, Game Tech UK, and I could see the HOA wagons in the yard there. So we might be able to see them. and some other bits and pieces. This is Kilburn High Road. But no, it does feel like a completely separate route doing this, which is cool. Just something else you can do. That was a pretty nasty stop. Here we are. I wasn't stop marker, but it was a bit firm. I keep forgetting the brakes on this train are a bit rubbish. Right, get the doors shut. Don't say we're doing it too early. I was gonna say we're doing it too early. Unlock doors, really? Oh, so irritating the way it does that. Oh, that works. Right, Queen's Park next. Obviously quite a tight timetable, as it is an overground service, so the timetable's not exactly nice to you. And now sort of back onto the bit we've already driven for many years on Train Sim World. Well, from originally on Train Sim World 2. So we're now on to the Bakerloo line. So we shouldn't really have any issues on this bit. Not like the back of my hand. And of course on this route there are the Bakerloo line trains. The 1972 stock is included as part of the West Coast Mainline South. So we will be seeing that as well. Again, I'm slightly, yeah, I mean, hopefully they can sort the timetable out. There's an hour and a half between overground services. Unless maybe it was a limitation, maybe there was just too many services so they had to cut back, but still, if that was the case, maybe there could be a limited timetable and, no, a reduced timetable and a full timetable. We've got no stop marker here. Well, I'd imagine we're in the platform, so I'm going to come to a stop here. Cool. Yeah, when's the next one behind us? Okay, we're the 1807. So, okay, the next one is in about 15, 16 minutes, but then, yeah, the one before this was about an hour and a half before. So, I don't know. Seems to be sort of hit and miss. Oh, capital lock handle. Oh, never noticed that. Okay. So it's forward. Let's go. Kensal Green next. Where are the Bakerloo line trains? I bet they're like limited as well. Let's go and have a look. I mean, there should be like every 2-3 minutes. Let's have a little look, see. Okay, maybe not. But to see there's none here at the moment, not even in the Queen's Park shed, is a bit like, where are they? So yeah, it definitely needs to be sort of a review of the timetable on here. As I mean, for this line, it just seems too quiet. In real life, yeah, there's an overground service every 15 minutes or so, and then the tube, and I mean that runs every 5-10 minutes north of Queen's Park. I wonder if there's been any changes to the Bakerloo line part of the route, as I'd assume it was sort of like Bakerloo line copy over to West Coast Mainline South paste just for sort of this bit. I can't imagine they would have rebuilt all of the bit from Queen's Park to Harrow and Wealdstone. So there's not really much need to. But hopefully things have been added in. We should be there. This is Kensal Green. But yeah, no more having to pretend in. Well, I think it was in Scenario Planner you had to you actually use this train, because it didn't work in sort of free roam. There's no stop marker. Now I'm assuming there would be a stop marker in real life. That's his Kensal Green. Again, not long that you get, well, 30 seconds at each station. Well, if you're on time. The door shut. And off we go into the little tunnel, which well, when you're in a tube train, doesn't look like a big train can fit through. But here we go. So Wealdstone Junction up next. That's 30 miles an hour coming up as well through Wealdstone Junction. So coming down for the 30, which begins relatively soon. There it is, just up there. Try and get a nice photo as well at some point. Can we try and get one here maybe? Yeah, we could do something with that. Field of view, whack that in. I don't know actually. Yeah, that would do. Maybe try and get another one at some point with another train in the background. Yeah, we can work with that. So I haven't got all of the UK routes installed yet, so we might be missing some sort of static stock in the depots, but well, we should see a lot more than what we did previously. So yeah, we now actually have two overground routes in the game, the Goblin Line and the Watford DC Line. Yeah, there's a service in the depot there. Wonder what overground route will be next. Cool. And I wonder if you get any services into Wealdstone Junction into the centre platform. I don't know if you would. Was that waiting shelter there before? Although saying that, now there are some changes to it. Is you've got overground signage now, and I think previously you had underground signage at Wealdstone Junction. Doesn't really matter where we stop. Yeah, did it say that before? Probably said it was the underground signs before. Which hopefully it's the one which is in real life. Well, someone mentioned, I'm not too good with fonts and stuff, but someone mentioned in one of the Discord servers that the fonts for the the writing there's could be wrong. Let me know if you're a font expert. I don't really pick up on things like that. Right, Harrow up next. We still haven't seen a tube train, which is a bit sort of like, where? Probably should have seen about 2 tube trains by now, but we've seen none. That's cool, the 350 whizzing its way past. But I mean, it is a bit sort of annoying. So when you look at Frankfurt Fielder, for example, the amount of layers on there, the amount of trains, it looks, perfect basically. It literally is like a perfect route. And you look at this one and the timetable and sort of the weird gaps and some of the sort of bizarre stuff, and it's like, oh, why couldn't this be like that? on, actually, I'm going to stop on that mirror there. That's where I'm going to stop. I mean, hopefully there will be a huge update to this route, because this is like the signature UK route in the game. And it's, well, it's alright, but just. But there's no stop marker. And that's where the mirror is, that sort of bit. Actually, hang on. No, there is a stop marker, but it's hidden behind there. But I can't imagine in this train you'd go right to the end. Well, I was saying that if we'd gone a little bit more further forward, we'd be alright. Door shut. And then Stonebridge Park up next. No, not that. There we go, right. Go. Going? We're going. To 45. Yeah, so we might see some AI around here, possibly a bit more going knocking about, maybe. Oh, unless I need the Midland Mainline installed, maybe. There's Wembley though. Cool. Still haven't seen the tube train, which is, you know, a bit concerning. Considering it as well, it's rush hour. It's 18:15. I mean, even on the fast lines we haven't seen much either. It's like, where is everyone? Maybe there's loads of cancellations. Yeah, maybe there's loads of cancel. It's a timetable based on major disruption. All the trains are stuck in the depot. Maybe. Anyway, here we are. Now I can see a stop marker for this one. Yeah, that'll do. Here we are. Bit on about Wealdstone, having that single door just off. Don't consider the stop marker anywhere. And the mirror seems sort of a natural place to stop. Right, let's get the door shut. It will be Wembley Central next. Push it leaving. But let's have a look in there. Is there anything in there? Where are the other? Oh, there's one at the back. No, there's two at the back. I can see some tube trains. Just got to have a look at the live map. What are they actually doing there? Just sat there. I don't think they do it. I think they're static. Like what? So still actually haven't seen a tube train which is, well, running. So unless they've all broken down the 1972 stocks, I mean that's possible. But again, it's just a bit irritating. So you look at Frankfurt Fielder with all of its layers, all of it, you know, the timetable busy. Every train seems to sort of be there, and all the feedback's been like, oh wow, you know, the amount of trains is superb. And you come on here and it's like, oh, you know, the main UK route probably to ever release the train sim world so far. And you've got all of these gaps in the timetable, trains missing. The freight services are apparently all sort of, well, I think all of the freight services are intermodal freight. I think there's even one for the 66, which is a class 1 train, and it's meant to be the post office train, like the 325, but it's a 66 with containers at the back. It's like, how can that happen? Like, what's going on? Oh, we got a red light. Is that because there's a tube train ahead of us? And also at the beginning as well at Euston, where we had to close the doors for the signal to change, which you wouldn't do in real life because you wouldn't. I mean, that is, yeah, the dispatching on a red signal. Is there someone walking in the 6 foot there? I don't know. Theoretically, it is still day 1, yeah, release day. So we'll let it slip, but still. Right, let's go. North Wembley next. There's another train on the way down, 390. What a beauty. It's a rare sight, but there we go. There is a 1972 tube stop at North Wembley. Take your pictures now, because we're not going to see another one. Let's, we got to get a photo. I was saying we're not in the sun anymore. Hang on. Now. Yes, there we go. They do exist, or they don't. Obviously, it's not going anywhere. There's no destination on it. Right, coming into North Wembley. It's wipe the brakes on. So it won't be too much further, and we will be sort of outside of the Bakerloo line and onto the Overground only bit. There's a limited clearance sign there. Nice. There we are, North Wembley. Stop is, yeah, South Kenton. I'm saying our train's due at 21 past midnight 21. I don't know, it's confusing. But then we're the 1821 to Watford Junction, but they're saying there's another one at 1816 to Watford Junction, which is due here at 21 past midnight. Let's go. Interesting. Right, let's wipe that up. It's cool now thinking we can drive on that side. Like before it was sort of just there and it was like, oh, we can't do anything on it, but now it's like, you know, I can drive on that. I haven't seen too much going past. And this is South Kenton. To be honest, I'm sort of hoping they just completely redo the timetable. I mean, it's not a bad timetable, but it's not realistic. Maybe, yeah, set it on the December 2023 timetable, or even June 2023 timetable. It's only a year ago. And then you can get the Southern going up to Harrow Hampstead at peak time, which adds more variety. And yeah, you'll be able to add in all of the sort of missing ones on here. Right, doors shut. Next station stop will be Kenton. Cool. A fun fact though, the Bakerloo line actually used to run up to Watford Junction until, was it 1986 or something like that? Yeah, sometime within the 80s they brought it back to, well, where it terminates now, Harrow and Wealdstone. Oh, look at that. Parallel running. Yeah, the Bakerloo line used to go all the way up to Watford. Did anyone ever go on it when it went up to Watford? And if so, how frequent was it up to Watford Junction? I'm assuming some services terminated at Harrow and Wealdstone. Yeah, what was sort of the, was it every hour from Watford Junction to Elephant and Castle? Or was it just, you know, Watford Junction to Queen's Park or something? And you got the Metropolitan line which goes over the top of us. Which we have driven on Train Sim Classic. So yeah, very, very stop-start this service. You cut down many stations. But it's, you know, a world's difference to doing a 390 run at 125 most of the way. But again, if you want this service, you do need to have the Goblin line. And I'm not actually entirely sure whether you get this on PS4 and Xbox One. You might not get it on there, because it would just blow up the console more than it already does. Oh, that was straight onto the live rail. Oh my god, they're all onto the live rail. Ouch. Right, let's get the door shut, and it will be Harrow and Wealdstone next. Which is our, well, the final stop on the Bakerloo line. Then we're out into the wild after that. Oh, I've got another question for anybody. For anyone, has the Southern 377 ever ran on here on the Watford DC? Has that ever happened? There's a little screen. Oh, there's a little screen in there. I was saying it was saying something, but not anymore. As we approach Watford Junction, there's another 66. Right, we've seen one tube train, or one moving tube train, and we've seen the one's in Stonebridge Park just. Will there be one in the turnback siding here at Harrow and Wealdstone? I'll count that as sort of an active train, as it will be on a service. There be, it might load in any second now. Maybe. No. No, it is not there. So we saw one active tube train in, what's that, 20 minutes? All the way from Queen's Park up to here. One tube train. So either it's based on all of the 72 stocks are just broken, and same, well, just TfL have run out of money, so they're not running services anymore. But one tube train. Here at Harrow and Wealdstone, we get to go further. Well, the speed limit remains slow though, not 45. Not at 30 there. Right, door shut was still on time, which is good. Forward. Let's go. So we've got about 15 minutes. It's basically another third. Yeah, another third, and then we shall be at Watford Junction. And we leave it behind. Let's go. Still thinking back to Wealdstone though. That bloody door off the platform. But I feel like there should be more stop markers. Or they should be slightly more visible. So the next station stop is Headstone Lane. That's the next one. And they're all close together. It's just there. And there is a train. I think there's another train there. Well, there's another train there. 350 whizzing along. I don't know, there's not another train. Something which I would like to see on this game, and now it's been what, 6 or 7 years. It would be nice to see it. Is the delay from when you get the route indicator to the aspect change on the signal. So let's, for example, I don't know, for example, East Coast Way at Brighton. When you do get the signal, yeah, it was an E as an E for East, and then you get the green light. But it would be cool if in the game you had the delay, which is realistic. So you get the route indicator first in the theatre box. Which, you know, flashes up, and then about 2-3 seconds later the main aspect changes. But we don't have that. This is Hatch End. It should be 45 all the way to Bushy. I think there's a 20 miles an hour limit there. So we've seen what? One overground train, yeah, one overground train, and one tube train. There's been one overground train. So for rush hour, it's basically completely dead. Alright, Hatch End's up next. Which sort of has the old platforms on the fast lines as well. There it is. Oh, start whacking that down. It's quite easy doing these services. You're just stopping at every single stop. You don't even need to know what the stop names are. You just know that there's a stop. I need to stop at it. It's quite a nice station on Hatch End. Sounds like a posh place. Where do you live? I live in Hatch End. Probably is. Sort of the suburbs of London. Well, there's a man up there. What's he doing up there? There's a man. What's he looking at? Leaks. I can see that Eurostar 373 on there. That's what it says. It's October the 10th, 2015. Definitely a leak on there about a Eurostar 373. Right, next up is Carpenter's Park. Let's go. Yeah, not Carpenter's Lane, as I was calling it. Carpenter's Park. But yeah, theoretically, you could sit on this train all day. Just go backwards and forth between Watford Junction and Euston. It shouldn't go off anywhere. Which is quite a good thing. Yeah, if you want to sit on it, it probably is the only service you can actually sort of sit on going backwards and forth all day. Unless the ones from Tring to Euston, unless they just stay on that circuit all day. Which they may do. So yeah. You could sit on this all day, going backwards and forth. Does anyone commute to work on this? I think for this you can either get a 378 or a 710. Well, I think it's more 710s now, isn't it? On sort of the AC areas. We could see a 710. I don't think they run. Actually, I don't think they're allowed to run. They're not allowed to run on the East London line, are they? The 710s. So it's almost like a bit of a downgrade, you know, from the 378, which can run everywhere, and then the 710, which can only run, well, not on the East London line, which then entail, I suppose, also they could go on the South London line, but they won't be able to go through the tunnel on the East London line. I know, where can the 710s run? So yeah, 378s can run everywhere, but where can the 710s run? That's what I haven't got out. There's one of the collectibles there, the little robot. Maybe I'll jump out and get it. Might as well get one. That was a pretty rough stop. There you go. That's one of them. And then we got Bushy after this. 35 of them. Wow. Stood on time. We've maintained that 30-second delay, which would probably be from Euston, sort of sitting on the red for ages. Right, next station stop is Bushy. So yeah, 20 miles an hour around there. And I think there's another thing which is also a bit different, which is slightly off, but I don't really care about it. But in real life, these would be 5 coaches on this route. Or at least I think the majority of them are 5 coaches instead of 4. But it doesn't really bother me. There's a few things that bother me, you know, not being able to train every 15 minutes or so, or the timetable being not great. But having 1 coach less, oh well. I mean, yeah, this is only really a substitute, or I know a later, so. Doesn't matter as much. Yeah, you got 35, and then the upper extending down to 20. Got a long old journey. It feels like we've gone on a long old way. But just so used to sort of skipping out all of these stops. Number 350 there, Wisdom Pass, an 8 coach. So even though it doesn't have LNWR branding on it, it's not actually too bad. I think it's only like a couple of little logos and that's it. But hopefully they can sort it though. would rather it be branded than not. Was it not 20? I pressed for the upline. It's 20. Well, maybe not then. 35. So we sort of come off here. We go on a bit of a tangent. We sort of come over. That's a good view. Look at that. Yeah, we sort of come off of the sort of West Coast main line and sort of onto our own little bit. There we are, this is Bushy. Yeah, we sort of come off this little loop here. Again, 30 seconds, bang on. We're not losing or gaining any time. Looks like it stays at 35 as well. But that there on that line's 20, isn't it? Yeah, 20. It's a little bit different if you're going back the other way. Right, let's go. Around the little hump. But so there used to be a bit more to it. You used to have the branch line cover. You should actually be able to see where it is. But there used to be a branch line which went off up here and went to Croxley. And then many moons ago, I think, went even further afield. Look at that, that's awesome. So yeah, still only seen one overground train. Yeah, you had Watford Stadium station, and there was another one. Watford South. What was it? Watford South station. So yeah, just here it would have been. Yeah. Yeah, just here would have been. Yeah, the Croxley branch which went off, which we actually have driven on Train Sim Classic. So if you're interested in seeing what the little branch sign there was like, look up Croxley branch, and yeah, it'll come up. As we come round into Watford High Street station. I wonder if this is a busy station, or if does everyone just go to Watford Junction? Then you get the fast train down into Euston. It's a pretty cool looking station though. It's a really cool station actually. Well, we've made it. We've lost another 10 seconds. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I suppose you can't go up there. Well, the next one by us 20 minutes. But then the next one going down is our one when it goes back down. So there's a 15-minute gap there. But for some reason, go to the third one. Oh, it's not changing. Unless that's the last one. Right, let's go. Onwards to our final stop of Watford Junction. And that's quite a journey we've had. I mean, 50 minutes. So it's not a short journey. Cool. Already cleared into the platform, and I believe there's a 15 mile per hour limit. You can see the other line there, which we're sort of coming back onto again. Got to do that at some point. Get a Silverlink 313 and run it on here. That'll be fun. Bit of Silverlink. Was that platform 3? There's the 15 mph limit. I mean, that literally just feels like a completely separate route in itself, though. Which is quite cool. So I've just feeling we're on the west coast. Yeah, it feels like a completely separate route. Because it is. I mean, the only time you sort of go on to the West Coast Main Line is after South Hampstead to Euston, where you sort of share the track. Apart from that, it's completely separate. Oh, little gap in the third rail there. But yeah, not too happy the way we only saw one tube train and one overground train. That was it for the whole journey on this line. I spy a 350 over there on the St Albans Abbey service. Well, I was saying that. I don't know if I've actually seen. Do they go to St Albans Abbey on here? And there's a 377 over there. Yeah, I think they do. Maybe they're just AI services. And then one of our moderators, Pete, he lives in the Watford area, and apparently there's like there's quite substantial structures just missing. Like 3 high-rise buildings just completely missing. That's cool on the 390 going through. So yeah, it definitely needs a bit of work done to it, this route. Timetable, scenery, lighting, quite a bit. But I mean, hopefully I'm sure they will, as it is a big route. Hopefully they can get it sorted. I mean, look at the Midland Main Line. When that first came out, that was in not a great state, and now it's one of the best routes there are. So, fingers crossed. Cool. And we shouldn't have to lock the doors. It tells us to lock the doors, but why do we need to close the doors? Probably will just be kept open. Yeah, that is going to be it from me. Hopefully everybody has enjoyed it. That was the Watford DC line on the West Coast Main Line. Links to be found in all the usual places: Discord, PayPal, merch store. Apart from that, thanks all for coming in. Hopefully see you next time. See you all. Take care. Bye guys.